Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to see you today. We are going to do our makeup. Today I'm going to use the ColourPop's Blow and Smoke palette, which it has super pretty grays and silvers. I did break a pan, but that's okay. So follow along, we're just gonna do a cute little alternative smoky look. So I'm trying to have it feel super alternative without feeling super heavy. So let's dive right in. Okay guys, welcome back. Start with my favorite primers. So I'm gonna put some nice gel patches on today just to kind of keep my under eyes nice and hydrated. Luscious. And I have some tape. Since I'm going for an alternative look today, I kind of want to make my eyebrows a little bit more thin. So I'm just going to rock them back and forth, brush them into the center. I'm using the Morphe pencil in shade Hazelnut just to define the lines a little bit more. Then we're going to go through and do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to use my usual Fit Me concealers. Today I'm using 01 and 05. So I'm going to take a flat brush and then using my concealer that I had just put down, I'm going to apply the concealer on the lower brow bone and the upper brow bone. And I've been getting a headache whenever I go to sit down and film these videos. Like I get the biggest migraine in the back of my head. And I don't understand why, and it's making me upset. I don't want to be in pain, it hurts. I'm also currently out of primer right now, so I'm just going to take concealer and kind of like just paint it across my whole eyelid just to get a nice kind of base going down. Make sure you cover the entire eyelid. Morphe M173 brush or any good concealer buffing out brush will do. So I'm going to start with my eyelids and kind of buff into the eyebrow bone. I had to go take an Excedrin because it hurts my head. So now that we have all this primer kind of going on, we're able to actually now go in and get started. I did an old makeup look using this palette that I adored. Let's see if I can find it. Gorge. So I have this look that I did in 2022 using this palette. And I was obsessed with it, and I never really did much with it after the fact. So I kind of want to play around and see what else I can do with it and maybe do something similar or do a different twist on it. Let's do it. Go through the white shade all over the entire lid. So I'm kind of just going to pack and place that white shade. Okay. So now that we're giving skeleton, I'm going to go through with something more compact. I want to do a mix of that lighter gray and that darker gray, but a majority of that lighter gray. Just want to start to pack it. So we're just going to pack it literally just on that little like V area outside the eye. So I'm just going through with those same colors and then I'm just kind of blending this out. I think I want to go through with a mix of that dark gray with the black. Wowza. Little cray-cray, but we got to trust the process here, okay? I'm not trusting the process either, but I need y'all to trust me here. So I'm going to go through with some more black just on its own. Tiny bit of the gray and a tiny bit of black on this brush just to help me kind of blend it into itself a little bit better. Now I'm going to need a new blending brush because this is now covered in really dark and I don't want to keep spreading that darkness everywhere. Morphe eye brushes are oddly scratchy and they're not my favorite to use, but they're cheap, so I have a bunch of them. So I think I'm going to go through with that white. Yeah, like, girl, get in there. And I want to just kind of soften some of this stuff by the eyebrow. So you kind of see the difference in the two. And do that same thing to the other side and just blend it out again. I want to add a little bit more gray. I'm just going through, I'm adding a little bit more depth to blend it out. But then you want to make sure that you're keeping everything just super soft and blended into itself. There's this darker silver, but then there's this super light silver. I want to go through with this light silver. I'm going to cut my crease. You could take off the makeup around your eye if you felt like it. But we're just doing it like this. And then I kind of like to take the concealer and kind of blend it literally how I would want that silver to blend onto my eye. And bring it exactly to where you'd want it to be. I like to go through with a tiny bit more concealer and just make sure that there's enough product on my eyelid to take in that product. And I like to do one eye before I move on to the other eye, just for when you open your eyes, if you have super hooded eyes, you're gonna mess it up. So I'm gonna go through with that silver. I'm just gonna pat it everywhere I put that concealer. To go through with a second coat just to make it nice and bright and extra shimmery. So it's kind of gonna look like that. There's not as much blend, but it's applied. So you're gonna take one of the blender brushes that you use. I think I'm gonna use the darker one in the meantime. And I'm just kind of gonna blend right against the edge of that. So I'm gonna take my setting spray. I'm just gonna spray it. And then I'm gonna take that same color again and put it now on my wet brush. And that just makes that shock effect that much more bright. I do recommend doing that. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side, and then we will keep going. So we have both sides completed. We're going to take these off. We're going to clean underneath. And we're going to mess with some eyeliner now. Using a pencil liner, I'm going to pencil along my waterline. Today I am using ColourPop's gel liner. And I think I'm going to take that same liner and I'm going to do my underwater line. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna do my regular liner, NYX Epic Liner. It does say it's waterproof. I've had mixed opinions on this. This used to be my favorite, but then it would end up all over my face and it wouldn't stay. So I love her, but I also am not in love with her. Do you know what I'm saying? She's not my soulmate, but I always go back to her. I need a mirror that's not so ugly. This is my eyebrow waxing mirror, so she's covered in wax, and I'm sorry. With eyeshadow looks like this, it's kind of like no pressure, because you can't fuck up your liner, because you can't take it off. Then you have to redo your whole makeup look. And that's not an option. Ta-da! Now can we recreate it is the question. Okay, not the best wings I've ever seen in my life, but they're cute. I'm gonna go through with that remover again, and I'm just gonna clean up the bottoms. Okay, they're gonna have to do. I'm not gonna touch them anymore. I don't love them. I don't love them, okay? Don't come for them right now. They're not, I'm very much of like a perfect pointy liner, so this is kind of cutting the line of girl trying to learn how to do her liner. No shade, no tea, but I've been doing liner for like over a decade now, so I really, what is that? No, that just will not do. And we're gonna do the rest of our makeup and kind of bring everybody together. I'm just gonna do the shadow underneath after I do the rest of my makeup, I think. Hey, Queen.
Oh my God, you are so real. You did not have to answer. I was praying you weren't filming. Are you filming?
Yeah, but I don't care. Don't you just love a good friend? Like, just a good buddy. I love a good buddy. She's like, your makeup's so cute. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. She's so kind to me. So we have this on. We are going to go through and do our little cute little face. I'm going to go through with some foundation. This is more of like a light BB cream. I should probably take off more of that black on my face too. So I just want to lightly buff this into my face. I'm not looking for a complete full coverage. I'm just kind of looking to even things out a little bit, especially since I get so red and I'm a bit pale. And I also find I don't want to cover my whole face with concealers either. This kind of allows me to still have somewhat of a base and not go too heavy at the same time. This is a little darker than my natural skin, so you really want to make sure you blend it down. Okay. I'm going to go through with my two different shades of concealer and kind of put them in varying places around my face. That is too dark. Hold up. So I like to use one shade as like a literal concealer shade, but then I also like to go through with lighter shades and have the concealer more act as a highlight rather than an actual concealer. So I'm really just trying to highlight different points of my face in varying different colors of concealer. I'm gonna go through with some cream contours. I have Fenty Beauty in Amber, and then I have Jola Cove by ColourPop. So I'm just gonna kind of have that be my main contour. I have a very strong jawline, so I really like to kind of cut that a little bit too and make my face shape what I want it to be. The Fenty one is a little bit of a cooler contour stick, so I like to go through just right in the depths of my cheekbones and a little bit around the nose, just to kind of help create a lot of depth in that look. So I'm gonna go through with that same brush that I used for the foundation, and then I'm gonna start at the bronzer points and start to kind of blend those in with the highlight bits that I did. And those are gonna start to kind of create their own blended color. You see how that kind of all just comes together into one, and then you work that color up. So you're gonna create its own ombre into your face. So then also just very much tapping. I try not to move the brush around too much when I'm doing my nose. I really wanna just tap that product exactly where I put it. For the forehead, I would start with the concealer bits and then work your way into the contour part. Again, you just want to create that ombre, so whatever direction is going to allow your brush to move that product in the way you actually want it to be moved. Now that we have this full base on, I like to go through one more time with just a little bit of concealer and kind of re-establish that highlight that I really want in there. So I'm going to go through all the way up the cheekbone, again a little bit on the nose, and then maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And then I'm going to take my lightest shade of concealer and add it to my super high points that I really, really want to highlight. So those are those second things of concealers that we're going to go through. The foundation portion really is not necessary because you're going through with other stuff, but I like the foundation because it allows my product to stretch and to blend more and be more even throughout the process. And see how much brighter that makes it? It makes like your actual cheekbones pop how you want it to. I love a cream highlighter. I like to start by putting this on my hand. I'm gonna take my cream brush again, and I'm gonna pound that into my hand and put it onto the brush. And then from the brush, I'm just gonna put it directly onto my cheekbones. And that just blends in with everything that we just did and helps solidify those tops of the cheekbones. And you could put it wherever you like, but you can see that difference that it makes right off the bat, and I just think that it creates this beautiful skin finish and really almost smooths out the skin. Go through with some powder. I have the Laura Mercier powder here with me today. I'm going to take that powder puff and put it directly under my eyes, and I get pretty creasy around my nose, so I really want to help prevent some of those lines. So I'm gonna really allow that product to get specifically where I tend to have a lot of lines show up in my makeup throughout the day. I'm gonna take that excess and just put the excess product everywhere else and make sure that nothing is super tacky. So now that you have your setting powder applied, then you can go through with your bronzers or whatever other powders you'd like to layer on top of. I'm gonna take that Morphe M530 brush with my Hoola bronzer, and I'm just gonna start it into the cheeks and just make sure that everything is distributed. So I'm gonna move over here for just a second before I move back over here, so that way things don't get too heavy. I personally really like to layer my bronzers. I've always liked to layer my bronzers. I just find that it really just helps sculpt the face a lot more. I do need to buy a new second bronzer. I just used the littlest bit, so this one has lasted me forever. It makes such a big difference. It like cuts it. Since we're kind of going for a little bit more of a darker look, I think I want my blush to be a little darker as well. I have this CoverGirl one, which the formula is not my favorite, but I do really like the color. And then I have this red darker one, and I think I could mix the two together and have a really pretty color. That's what that one looks like, and this one's Woo Me by ColourPop. And this is shade Bourgeoisie. Put it all over my brush, so that's kind of what it's looking like. I didn't end up contouring my nose. Hold on, folks. Almost completely forgot to contour my nose. Snatchies. It's a little harsher than I'd like it to be, but we'll blend it out. I'm going to take that powder puff again, and I'm going to create the lines where I put the contour. So from the ears to the cheek, you get a line. Line. And then under the eyes and by the nose, I like to kind of re-solidify that contour as well. And when we blend that out, we can use that extra powder to kind of soften that line. But I'm a drag makeup girl. I don't mind a line. I really don't. So while that bakes, I'm going to put that shadow underneath my eye. Get that darker gray and that lighter gray, and I'm just going to blend it underneath. Cute. And then I'm just going to slightly blend it out, just ever so slightly. Cute, gorgeous, stunning, amazing, beautiful. So I'm removing all that excess powder. And then you want to look before you set anything, what can I move before I set my face? I need to adjust my nose is what I need to do. We're going to apply a lip mask, and while the lip mask sit, I'm going to put on my mascara and some lashes. And once I have those applied and my lips are nice and moisturized, I'm gonna go through and put on my lip color. This is a lip mask by ColourPop. It's super cute. Just berry flavored. I personally don't really like the flavor that they're going for, which that's what I keep finding with their lip masks. I really thoroughly enjoy ColourPop's formula, but the scents are slightly not what I want them to be. It's not giving berry at all. It's giving Christmas time. For mascara today, we're gonna be using the Man Eater by Tarte. This is one side with the mascara on. Let's go through and do the other side. Okay, I got it on the other side. I did get it all over my lid, but I know a lot of people have kind of lost this little hack. If you allow your mascara to fully dry and you just go through with a clean cotton swab, for the most part, it usually comes off really easily without messing with the rest of your makeup. So I'm gonna allow that to dry, and then I'm going to wipe it off. So going through with that clean cotton swab, I'm just gonna go through over my lid and just take off some of that I got everywhere. So now it is officially time for the lip. I love a good brown liner. I've noticed on TikTok it's a little controversial with us pale girlies, but I think with my darker aesthetic, I personally feel like it looks cute. I don't know how well the brown's gonna go with this look. I might end up taking it off and doing something else, but I wanna do the brown. This is the Lippy Pencil by ColourPop, and this is in Chain Reaction. Do we like that together, or does that look bad? A little bit of both. Oh, I just have this Bioma lip oil. I'm just gonna put it right on over top. I don't know. I know the lip doesn't really fully match right now, but also I don't really mind it. I'm gonna set this, and then we're gonna put on some highlighter. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna put a little bit of highlighter all around and just kind of help complete the look. So again, me with these really old Becca highlighters that I have no right using, and I just need to go buy myself a new highlighter. So realistically, I might end up changing out the lip color, but this would appear to be our completed makeup look. We have this beautiful shimmery silver makeup. No, we need to change this lip out now. Okay, so I ended up changing out the lip. I filmed the whole video with my closet open. This is the completed makeup look today. Gorgina. Absolutely love her. I am obsessed. I feel super beautiful and pretty. I've been meaning to redo this makeup look for a very long time, so I am very happy that I finally did. And she's super cute, and I love her. I love her. I feel like an alternative little baddie. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching. I really appreciate the support and you taking the time out of your day to watch this. While you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. Go be happy, go be merry. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
What the dog doing?